Hey Tamoretsi, my name is Rob Sowide, coming straight out of Rustenburg, the 014 Platinum City. You are listening to Urban Info Podcast, a podcast that is dedicated to provide you with relevant news, information, and discussing youth-related issues in open discussion that is more likely to aid you in your livelihood. Welcome, and of course, I get I'm with my bro, J95.
Welcome to the Urban Info Podcast, episode number 5. My name is J95. What's good, Raps?
I'm awesome, J. What's up?
Easy, man. Now let's get into this. Today's discussion, we ask you if the government is an obstacle to your dreams. What do you have to say about that, Raps?
For me, Jay, I consider a country as a home, man, and a government as a parent, sort of a family. So already they've given us a rules and constitution to live by, and I do live by those laws and regulations as a law-abiding citizen. So I think right now, I feel like an outsider in my own home.
Yeah.
And I see to see youth empowerment becoming only a mandate to extort money from government to keep making the richest keep getting riches. And yes, I do believe that government is an obstacle to many South African life, and I believe only few can disagree with me on this one.
Yeah. There's a dope analogy, Mzansi is home and the government is a parent.
It's a parent, so in order for us we are depending on them for a lot of opportunity, not for handover and everything, but for them to create the opportunity for us in order to live our life perfectly, So if they only use those thing of making possible for us as a campaigning slogan for that thing, it's not nice.
Buying face. I mean, I think there's two answers to this: yes and no. My opinion is that it all comes down to what your dream is. A dream job that requires you to be part of the labor department, or a dream that takes from you more than you have to give, like your time, the little money that you have, sleep, blood, sweat, and tears, to see that dream come alive from zero to hero. If it's that kind of a dream, then no. I mean, how bad do you want it? I mean, there might be a few obstacles, systematic obstacles that you might have to overcome. I mean, but if I graduated from varsity with a degree in office administration or accounting, then I can't land a job for the next 3 to 6 years. I can't land a job that they promised me I'd have an opportunity to bag by creating it, creating the opportunity stated in their policy with no results, then yes, because I see plenty of graduates who end up starting, businesses for professions they didn't study in varsity and stuff. People are looking for alternatives always. I mean, that's kind of where the yes and no comes from. It's yes, and then you decide, yes, then swag the government, let me find my own solution.
You are caught up in the juxtaposition there.
Then you start your own thing, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna start my own, mind you. The government is holding me back, so they aren't doing anything for me, so let me find my own solution, And with that being said, ask yourself, are we misleading ourselves by believing that the government should do everything for us?
No, I don't think we're misleading ourselves, Jay. Because as much as I believe that human beings should be independent and not becoming a dependent variable to government, but how will one become independent in the country where opportunities are limited? And they are not only limited because they are not there or available, but they are limited because their opportunities are taken by those who are committing corruption in the country, and then corruption, man, is becoming a leading problem and starting to become something normal to even us voters. Because I heard something disturbing last one I passed at the town, an upstanding citizen who was saying that. And I quote, let me quote him. He was saying, yes, we vote for them to eat. Who will eat those millions if you don't agree? We don't let them eat those millions. So that's what that guy said. And it was shocking, man, to hear those kind of things said by someone who we seem to be an upstanding citizen in our country, And he said that, and I quote again, he said that I cannot wait to get myself into municipal office so that I can start having my own pie too, as he was referring to corruption. So that eating they are doing to the funds we are supposed to develop our country with and give opportunity to us as South African is what makes us ending up thinking that government should do everything for us. And I'm starting to think they are doing that on purpose to hold us independent so that we can be depending on them, and then that might probably be the strategy that keep them in power for so long without any progress. I mean, if you give a man a fish, he will keep asking for more, you know. And then if you teach a man how to fish, and then he will live forever and then be able to fish for himself. So this is what government is doing to us, man. It's making us be dependent to depend on them by giving us the packages, the RDPs and everything. So those are the things they keep you in a point where you say, okay, I'm voting for this government so he can build me a house. But if they were presenting enough opportunities for us to be independent, then I would say, then you'll build yourself a house. So yes, man, government is an obstacle to us.
Yeah. So we are misleading ourselves.
Yeah, we are.
They should do everything for us, which I agree with.
I think they are the one who are misleading us, because if they weren't misleading us, then they will create opportunity for us.
Because they've led us to believe that they should do everything for us.
So
we vote for them and then they do everything for us. Whereas we should be voting for them to keep their house in order to develop the country, you know, and not promise us things they cannot deliver. Instead of promising us to build us everyone a house, you know, to always do everything for us.
Because that's what they do. They promise to give us the packages, the everything. Now they're giving us 350s. What should we do with the 350? If they could take all those money and create opportunity for work, at least it will be better. Now, instead of giving people 350 for every month for 6 months, what will happen after 6 months? Huh?
I know a lot of them never. I don't know who received it, but I remember people saying they haven't received it.
Each and every morning I see a long queue at post office, so I think people are getting them.
Yeah.
But what they were looking at is that it's not impossible for them to make job. So they rather create a system where they give us a handout, and this is what I don't like, man. And
I also believe that they are misleading us. I mean, they have policies in place, right? Just like you've said. They promise to change the lives of the nation by delivering services, but don't always deliver on them. You know, parties always preach the power is in our hands, that we should vote for change. I say, indeed, the power is in our hands, but let's use it wisely and not give it to the wrong people. You know, even though we have to vote, and it seems like every party has its own dark side, you know, to corruption and all this stuff. But I think we should begin internally as a community. We can bring change by working together from within the community, you know, build ourselves, our households and streets. Teach our children that it starts with you as an individual to want change and work together with others as one, you know, others as one mind to bring an even bigger change. As a community, let us raise better future leaders, you know, because the Omas and Opas are failing us, you know, just like it says, it takes a village to raise a child. You know, so let us take that African proverb, you know, that concept, and apply it to our communities. Let's change from within, because we're looking outside at the government, you know, and what they're doing, and they're misleading us, and within communities people follow in their footsteps, you know. So it's kind of like a core thing.
It's a system developing. Each and every day they're creating it to a point where someone would even have a desire to be in a government so he can have a piece of pie too. So
it's a whirlpool. It starts from within and then it spreads out. It's a whirlpool.
This is troubling, man, especially to us where we have we should go far as a country in South Africa, man. They say that another thing is, as free Mzansi citizen, do you think we owe the ruling party our vote for fighting for freedom, even though its existence in power does not benefit you? Because ever since we this party that we are is our leading party voted for us for freedom, I think it's in a point where we feel like we owe them our vote in order because they fought for us. But I don't know, man. What do you think about it?
I don't even have a lot to say on that, man. I mean, I don't even vote, and I know that automatically, me not participating automatically gives the ruling party a vote. Why not? I mean, no one owes any party a vote. They weren't doing anyone a favor by open inverted comma, bringing freedom, close inverted comma. The idea is to prove worthy of my vote, but our nation is in a mess because its house isn't in order. There's corruption and scandals left and right. That just makes them seem more like a circus. There's no coordination at all. So no, I don't believe we owe them a vote.
I feel like it is psychological phenomena in many South African life that we owe the ruling party the vote as a token of appreciation for fighting democracy. But I think we should reach a point in our life where we see that enough is enough. But then again, what do we do after saying enough is enough? Because right now, president of a country is usually referred to as a president of a political party. You'd hear the news and everything. They say a president of this ruling party. So which got me wonder if is he the president of that political party, or the political party, or the president of a country. So we will just vote for another hungry party to look for their interest. And I think it's in order to solve everything, man, we should start there. And maybe that's when we can start going forward. Because I feel like when our leaders see that we have no opportunity to serve themselves in the party. For example, man, if you are running the leading party, you are a member of a leading party, then you see that in this party there's no way I can start eating or having my own self benefits. Then I'm opening my own party. That's what our political leaders are doing out there, man. Each and every one who feel like, okay, I'm not having enough here, let me start my own political party. And they never tell why they leave the party they exist to. So it's just one of the things they say, okay, in order for me to open the company, let me open my political party and then start making money. It's no longer about the country's interest right now.
True.
Another thing, man, let's talk about youth investment here.
I mean, with youth investment, you have NYDA doing their best, They're investing in businesses. Well, certain businesses, they really didn't do much for me, man, I mean, I would have appreciated it had they been upfront with me. But I'm grateful for the knowledge I acquired, because they were like, yo, man, we've had people come out here and tell us they want to start music studios, their own record labels and so and so. And these guys really, we want to know that when we give you the money, you're going to put it to good use. You have goals, you're going to make capital, you have a clientele. And they were like, with people who wanted to start record labels and stuff to buy studio equipment, they've really never been, up to par. Most of them, they don't have a clientele before they come through to us. And they just don't understand, I could have a laptop and have a door, but if I don't have monitors and interface and a condenser mic, then I can't really do much. And I came to their basket for body, so come on, man, but I mean, I'm grateful for the knowledge I acquired with them. I think the youth's biggest concern is free education for all, which is very big. It is a very big investment, and the president has always said he's marked it as a priority, but we've come to realize that he's a man full of empty promises. No lie, man. Rather you find big companies, especially private ones, investing in the youth, although they can only, cater to a small number of youth, so yeah. SME South Africa, which is small, medium enterprise companies, listed several local and international companies that are actively looking to back South African startups, startup businesses. You have Goodwill Investment, Greycroft Partners, Katlagopele, ASEAN, Rising Tide Africa, VC for Africa, and many more. So if you have a startup, check the link to this info below in the description. We'll put it down in there. What do you have to say about youth investment in South Africa?
Like I mentioned when we started this show, man, that my view is that government is like a guide on how to do things and how to rule things. And I think even youth who are in this government already learning the drills, so I think we need a fresh mind. But they already learn the drills in order to be in the system, because normally what they see from what the politician making, because in order for a child to learn something, man, you have to learn from your parents. And as youth, we are growing up under seeing leaders who are living life that we have desires to live, and those money that they are getting, surely not because of the good legitimacy or everything. So in order for me to get out of poverty that I'm into, I should go to government. Let me go to government and learn the drills. So already youth too is already learning certain things. So I don't know, man. And one thing that I know is youth empowerment. If government could invest more into youth empowerment, like for example, with these 350s that they are giving to people for free. One thing about rewarding people for not doing nothing, it's problematic, man, because we will never be everything, nothing to our life. So if they can take that amount that we were given for free and start saying, okay, with this amount, we're investing into youth empowerment. I believe, man, in a successful business, one person can hire about 6 people. And then give those people a basic salary, not 350. So by that, man, I think if they were giving you a studio and then you can record people and then making money, at the end of the day, man, the moment the business started making money, you will hire about 3 people. And then after hiring those 3 people, then you can make money out of everything.
I mean, with that, like you say, covering on the fact that I couldn't get, backing to start my what I did on my own by myself. Get a job, save up some money, buy myself like a studio bundle. What they could do. I mean, like you said, instead of always telling me, nah, you guys never have a clientele and stuff, whatnot, they should probably have someone, who has who has a knowledge and a background, who was in the music business, probably like an A&R or music exec, maybe retired or whoever, and then employ them, to their like NYD, employ these people who were part and have a background in this certain business professions, so that when somebody like me comes through, they can help me, as to, okay, this is where you need to start before you get to this. This is what you need to acquire these skills, and actually help me, before NYDA decides like, nah, you don't have a clientele, you've never sold any music, you've never this, so we really can't help you.
Because what they do, they just crushing your dream without even knowing. Because it's easy to crush someone's dream. If someone can come to me and say, man, my goal is to, let's say, sing. I don't know how to sing. If someone can come to me and say, my goal is to sing and I can sing to you, and me, I'll say to you, man, I don't know nothing about singing and you'll never make money with that. But I'll be lying. I'll be saying something that I don't even know. So it's better to get someone to judge you who is in that field, because you will find a receptionist at NYDA say, what kind of your business is? You say making a car, I want to build a car. I say, you can make a car, get out of here. So those are the things that you should look into.
I mean, they speak as if they know. Dunning-Kruger effect right there. Okay, now let's just get like the need for youth leadership in Parliament. Do you think we can flourish and make a positive impact if we were to become members of Parliament? Like, how many of us are focused, dedicated, disciplined, and put in the best interest of the country first without being selfish, if that was the case?
If we were living in the world where hard work is paid, I believe everyone would be dedicated.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to youth. Because right now, man, we live in a world where, I don't know, not doing anything is rewarded. Like I just mentioned, the 350 that the government is giving people, you know. We are at a point where we feel like we should just relax and we'll be rewarded for nothing.
Yeah.
So that's why those are the kind of things that makes us not being lazy to think, being lazy to be out of our comfort, because we know we can just sit and wait, hoping that government can build us RDP, can give us free food and free everything. So that's the problem. So if we were living in a world where, in a country where opportunities were like, okay, youth, we support your ideas, we support your everything, I believe, man, we would have a better people who are so determined and dedicated, because I believe in youth, and I believe that there are more people who are in this country dedicated enough to make an impact that can grow our GBP.
Yeah, I mean, when you speak about the 350 getting awarded for doing nothing, that, you know, it might be, you know, a sensitive topic, but the fact that unemployed mothers, well, I'll just, because we're basically right now, this is more targeted towards the youth, you know. We have a lot of young girls and women having babies, you know, and then because they don't have a job or formal education, you know, they get, how much is it, the money that they get for, you know, child.
That's a lot, man. I don't know how much is it, but that's a lot. That's why I'm stating the fact that we live in a country where everything is rewarded. Even making a baby, you can get rewarded for making that. So hard work is being killed. I'm not saying those things shouldn't be there, because they are helping a lot of South African life. Because at the same time, the reason they are helping is because of there are no opportunities in the country. So that's what they should do.
I mean, I was watching a YouTube video on millennials in the workshop, you know, that is the generation of weakness by Simon Sinek, you know. He spoke about how we've been accused of being lazy, narcissistic, unmanageable, and the biggest one being entitlement. You know, he hit home when he said this. Except for entitlement, I've never really been the one who's felt entitled.
But sooner or later, man, this government will make you feel like you're entitled to a lot of things. Start voting, you'll see. The moment you vote, you start seeing, okay, I voted this party, they should give me this. Then you start striking for free food, free everything, man.
I don't think I'm gonna vote anytime soon.
But you should, man.
Yeah, man,
that's where you can be able to voice out your opinion and say, I hate this because I voted. That's where you start being entitled.
That's when I'll start, and I don't wanna get to the point. Now, in regards to this, in regards to whether we can flourish and make a positive impact, is a big question. You know, how can we make a change anywhere when a majority of us lack self-discipline, self-awareness, are lazy and want things handed to us, you know, which takes us back to the question of, are we misleading ourselves by believing that the government should do everything for us, you know? However, there already is youth in parliament, you know. Shazia Ibrahim of the Daily Vox questions their representation and further stated, there's no evidence that just having young people in parliament means that there will be a difference in how agendas are shaped. There's potential for that now that young people have been included. Going forward, young people need to entrench themselves in and assert themselves in these parties and in the spaces where it's legislature or the National Assembly. You know, and I think like that she's right. I support that 100% facts. Because I mean, like I spoke of youth investment, the biggest thing that our youth is fighting for right now is free education. You know,
free education,
which is kind of a tightrope. You know,
education. I don't think, man, should be that much of expensive, because at the end of the day, man, as a constitution, it says that every child has a right to education. So those are the things that we should be saying, okay, let's reduce the cost of education, because you'll find someone go to school and go to university for like 3 years, and after that he start working for like 10 years in order to repay the debt and everything that he acquired. So that's a lot, man, because imagine living in this kind of situation where we're living into, and then we have a background to take care of. It's called black tax, So at the end of the day, you still have to pay for the fees. That's a lot, man.
Yeah, I mean, indeed, the government is doing too much, and I mean, everybody that's in parliament, these guys, they get paid millies, man.
And they still taking for themselves.
That's greedy on and you don't see these niggas driving around in Lambos and stuff, but you ask like, the heck are these niggas doing with all this money? Yeah, man. Okay, yeah.
Okay, Moraisi, this is the end of discussion, which was the question: is government an obstacle to your dream? And we were stating our opinion, and I know you probably have a lot to say about this topic, so feel free to become part of this conversation by commenting your view below about this topic. I go by the name of Rob So Wide, and you are awesome. Jay?
Okay, now that is the end of the episode. Shout out to everyone supporting Urban InfoPod. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit that notification button, and follow us on Instagram at Urban InfoPod _, Twitter at Urban InfoPod. Stream the podcast on Spotify and Anchor. We are also on SoundCloud, Urban InfoPod. It looks like the long walk to freedom is still a journey, hey? My name is J95 and I'm with Raps Worldwide. Peace out and carpe diem.